Hi, welcome to my little corner of the internet. This is an unscripted beginning for a very scripted show, so get ready to see me be scripted in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did it cut? Did we? Internet podcast bros. Well, it sounds like a knockoff of Super Smash Bros. It is instead a type of man, a breed, if you will, who throws his unwarranted opinions onto the internet like monkey throws poop onto the walls. And Michael, you might be asking, aren't you also throwing your unwarranted opinion onto the internet? And yes, but it's not on a podcast. So anyways, these internet podcast bros have a tendency to be misunderstood, or to tell it like it is, or to cut through the bullshit like some sort of gross fruit ninja, when in reality, they range from spreading misinformation to millions of followers, to promoting misogyny amongst men who would probably laugh at every I Hate My Wife comic in the newspaper. And today, we are looking at one of those famous internet podcast bros. But we're not looking at your Joseph Robots or your foot fetish. No, there's a new kid on the block. And you might already know him. That's right. It's the one, the only, Shake from Love is Blind Season 2. Sorry, who is this guy again? For those of you who don't know, which realistically there's probably one of you, Jarvis Johnson made a great video about Shake's antics in Love is Blind Season 2, Netflix's reality/dating/marriage show. And if you haven't watched that, please go do after this video. Because Jarvis does a great job of explaining Shake's rise to prominence, and does so far more than I will be. But for those who don't care too much, here's the TLDR. Love is Blind is a dating show where two people, seemingly a cis man and a cis woman, attempt to fall in love with and subsequently marry each other. But here's the catch. Here's the catch. They cannot see each other until after they've proposed, after which they are whisked away on a beautiful, romantic, relaxing getaway to Mexico, all expenses paid. Oh, and your wedding is in 1 month, so you better be actually fucking in love. And real quick, before I go into anything, we gotta remember, this is a reality TV. This is heavily edited. I will be talking about the relationships and people as they appear on the show, as seen on TV, but not necessarily how they were or are in real life. With the exception of Shake, as aside from his little stint on the show, I will be talking about how he chooses to present himself on the internet. So that's fair game, I think. Got it? Cool. As a rhetorical question, I don't care. You can stop watching the video if you don't get it. So, quick introduction of Shake on the show. You meet him, and immediately you can tell he's there for what we in the biz like to call the wrong reasons. He's asking every question about appearance possible on the show where you're not supposed to know what your partner's appearance is.
I love buying clothes for girls. Yeah, what's your size? What the fuck? Would you like working out? I get along best with individuals that do work out. If we were to be at a music festival, do you like being on a guy's shoulders?
Yeah, you're up for the challenge, you can pick me up.
Yeah, but will I have trouble picking you up?
Kinda cringe. Shake does, however, find someone to propose to. Deepti. And long story short, he does not find her immediately attractive.
I don't know if I'm feeling the type of body connection that I wanted to feel.
Over the course of the show, it appears like he actually starts reflecting on his appearance-focused dating mindset, and possibly, starts on a journey of bettering himself. And oh, what's that? None of that ended up happening? And Deepti dumped him at the altar?
I hope you know how much you mean to me and the impact that you've made on my life, but no, I cannot marry you.
I was not expecting that.
The thing is, though, Shake doesn't look the worst. Hell, I don't even think he's the worst person on the show. That pleasure goes to this man, who is both annoying and a bad guy.
You know what? I'm sorry that I said what I said. It's how I truly felt.
So you're saying you truly felt like you hated me?
Or do you want to do this right now?
Shake just kind of asks weird questions and acts like a complete tool after he's dumped at his own wedding, and compares the person he's dating to his aunt. Okay, that's kind of weird.
It feels like I'm with my aunt or something. Like,
But again, he's not my least favorite on the show. Until the reunion episode. Then Shake evolves into Shake 2. Electric Boogaloo. First of all, may I say, this shit must be the most awkward thing in the world to participate in. You were just filmed for a month and a half, documenting your journey through love. Maybe marrying the person, maybe not. And if you're part of the majority of contestants, you just gotta sit there, forced to answer questions about your ex to their face, and look at all the successful couples, and just wonder how the fuck they did that. Okay, but Shake. Shake. This motherfucker cannot help but interrupt everyone at all times.
That's not what I mean by that.
Can I just say something, Shane?
I'm sorry.
Can we just say,
That was
Again, it's in the
Yeah.
past. It's okay.
may I?
No!
He must not think. He must not think. He reveals himself for who he truly is. Someone who's just trying to get on a popular show, clout chasing.
Can we just say off the record that
He can't help himself.
the drive to continue on the show was a driving factor, I think,
you.
for
He said so much shit to so many people on and off camera that everyone in the room, including the host of the show, were pissed at him the entirety of the episode.
So the problem I have,
They do end up bullying him into silence, which, good for them, but they just executed a complete character assassination of Shake, one that I would think would be impossible to come back from. Right? I have so much hate in my heart for how this man is. But why is Shake making a podcast, I wonder? I mean, obviously, to prolong his limited lifespan in the internet limelight, but ignoring that, there must be an audience for this, right? Someone he wants to share this with? Let's look at the gram, I suppose. Okay, pot is hot, life is blurry, he's promoting. What the hell is this? Gross. Okay, he has 173,000 followers. Pretty good. Far more than I have. But let's do a little comparison, shall we? Let's take really his rival for worst character in the show, Shane. I don't know what public perception on these characters are, but he was my least favorite character before the reunion episode. And he has 522,000. Okay. Maybe it's because he's very conventionally hot and buff. He posts a lot of shirtless pics, so that makes sense. I mean, to be honest, all the people on Love is Blind are pretty attractive people, but let's take someone who's maybe a little more conservative on their Instagram. Maybe Iana? Nope. Fuck it. Nick? Not even Nick. Out of everyone on Love is Blind Season 2, Shake has the least amount of followers. And what's even better, what I would describe as poetic justice, the person with the most amount of followers cracking the 1 million mark. Deep D. Okay, I mean, that's interesting. And I don't mean to follower shame. God knows I'd lose that battle in a minute. But maybe the people who do follow Shake are his ride or die fans. Only good vibes on his posts. So let's look at those, I guess. Oh, he's promoting a podcast he was on. That's nice.
Looking back, I think I would have been more careful with who I share my thoughts with. There were people I trusted, only to find out that, really, at the end of the day, it's only themselves they're looking out for.
Shake really is the victim, isn't he? Let's see what the comments have to say. Nice. Wait, how are you blaming others for the things that you said? Regardless if people told you something, the fact remains that you still said the things you did. Bro, even if you never trusted anyone, your interviews and facial expressions said it all. Own it. Stop saying you own it, and then a week later go back and blame someone else again. Go see a psychiatrist, honestly. Do not be ashamed. You need help, man. Such a very bad person. That's my favorite one, honestly. Well, mostly negative there, but let's look at this one. Looks like he's partnered with a media company. That's Good for him, I guess. Did you move? On to bigger things. Awesome. Genuinely, actually, you suck. How much do you pay whoever deletes your deserved hate comments? Apparently he's not deleting any of the comments, because holy shit. Okay, let's try and find something where people won't be mad at Shake. Oh, look, his puppy's driving a Tesla. Then if you have to jump on the brakes hard, the dog goes flying. Dangerous activity.
My puppy
Remember,
never
when you are driving car without being secured, I don't carry you. Okay, he's joking about adding a $sign to his name. That's kind of funny. Enjoy with your blonde girls. The
How's it
reality is
feel
you will
being the
never
most
match
selfish
about
person
DJ
on
Shane? Fucking, he moved to Miami. Nothing bad here, right?
Are you really abandoning
Midlife
being
crisis,
a
you're not
fucking
giving up your
because
veterinary
sellout reality?
We do not care. God damn it. And if you think I'm hunting for these negative comments, I'm not. These are always near the top, if not the top comments on his posts. And no one else gets this much unadulterated hate spewed at them. Even Shane, who I continue to remind you, he's also a villain, only gets minor jokes when his own caption was making fun of himself. Okay, maybe Shake made an Instagram for his podcast, right? So maybe his true fans are just... Please get some help. Okay, Shake, who the fuck are you making this podcast for? Okay, full disclosure, I did not watch Love is Blind before deciding to make this video. I watched Jarvis's video about Shake on the reunion episode on Love is Blind, and heard he was making a podcast, so I was like all in at that point. Obviously, at this point, I've watched the full series, but Live Reacting Michael, by the way, say hi to Live Reacting Michael. Hi. That's me, I'm gonna be live reacting. So, sorry, and I'll be butting in if I want to correct something or if I say anything wrong. Or for any other reason. Don't tell me to make my show. First things first, I decided to listen to the trailer, because I wanted to know what Shake wanted from this podcast, what his goals were, what life-altering conversations he would bring to the already wildly oversaturated podcast market. He doesn't bring any? That makes sense. Okay, here we go.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Shake Chatterjee.
His last name is Chatterjee? Chad Energy. Chatterjee. That's... the joke writes itself. I can't...
With the heart of a puppy doctor and the attitude of a DJ.
He said he has the heart of a... what did he say? The heart of a puppy doctor and the attitude of a DJ. That's all you need to know. I don't have to listen to the rest of this podcast. You already know what the fuck's gonna happen. He didn't even say veterinarian. He said puppy doctor with the attitude of a DJ. Would you want the attitude of a DJ to fucking fix your cat? Let's get the energy up in here, huh? But your cat does have cancer.
I just might be the most tragically misunderstood person on reality TV.
I have paused 3 times. It's been 13 seconds. I am wildly upset that he said that. I'm even more upset now that I've watched the show. Everyone on the show hates Shake so much. No one, and I mean no one, has ever took his side on anything. Even his mom took deep side over his.
Being very frank, I'm very much identifying with her right now more than you.
And Shake's excuse is that the TV network executives pitted them against each other, and sure, I don't know how reality TV works, but if you're the one who said things to other people, and they're now angry at you for saying those things, maybe it's a you problem, bud.
I'm going to be interviewing all kinds of controversial and multidimensional guests.
You just said multidimensional. Is this like a Rick and Morty type situation where he's like C-137 Shake? And he's gonna get his multi-dimensional selves from all of the different directions. There's like a citadel of Shake. Hi, editing Mickey here. Did I really just say directions instead of dimensions? And none of you told me what's that about?
I cannot wait to get started with you guys. Let's run it!
I finally finished the trailer, and safe to say it gave me a lot of hope for this project. What a trailer. Really made me think that this is going to be the worst experience of my life. Now it was time to decide what podcast to watch. At the time of recording, the newest podcast was Laws of Attraction, Why We Crave What We Crave with Rodrigo Garcia Platas. I had no idea who that guy was, so I decided to do some quick research. Here, who the fuck is Rodrigo Garcia Platas? I'm gonna look that up. Platas. Okay, he's on Instagram. Alright, Unani Biotypes. Unlock the secrets of the human experience. What?
Welcome to Intro to Biotypes, your first step in really understanding yourself, your biology, and all the secrets that we have about how human beings work, how you're supposed to connect with them, to solve every situation with them. It's gonna be fun.
Okay, before we go on, you don't solve situations. That's not... Conversation is not a problem you have to solve. Looking at shit like that is weird.
This is actually about learning the compassion and freedom for other human beings by not taking who they are personally and knowing that their reactions are not about you or their relationship itself, just because of the fact that they have a very specific biological structure.
What does that mean? I'll tell you what that means, live reacting Michael. It means you don't have to be angry at people anymore. The things they do or say are not their fault. It's just a result of their biology and stuff. It's not their fault. They were born that way, I think is what he's trying to say. I don't really get it either.
Just by looking at people, I know 70% of who they are.
That's a crazy thing to say. Am I wrong? Like, just by looking at them and seeing their person, not like talking to them or anything? Give me a second. What about this person? What about them? Well, they're not real. Gotcha! You just tried to psychoanalyze an AI-generated image, you nerd.
I know how to ask the questions. I know how to open them up emotionally little by little.
The fuck are you doing? Opening them up emotionally? Why do you want to do that? Do you want to make them cry in your first meeting? Hi, Rodrigo. Oh my god, it's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so many good things about you. Norman Manson, age 25. You were bullied for being gay when you were younger, so now you're too scared to confront your sexuality. What the fuck? Also, your mom just died. What? No, she hasn't. Check your phone. Well, okay, but oh my god! They haven't found the body, and I can guarantee you they won't.
I started applying it, creating different hiring patterns by knowing exactly what people are naturally good at and how prone they can be to certain things as corruption, gossip, lying. It's not created by our personality per se. It's actually how our biology ends up creating a specific personality.
What the fuck is he saying? Corruption, lying, deceit, gossip is not created by our personality. It's because of the way our biology creates a personality. I might just be stupid, but what the fuck?
It's actually how our biology ends up creating a specific personality to either balance itself out or to actually try and use a personality in service to your biotype.
What is he saying? What? I'm confused and upset. Needless to say, I did not like this video. Okay, so I finished the video, and I learned nothing. But herein lies the problem with me criticizing this type of content. I am very dumb, and Rodrigo has spent his whole life studying things that I, spoiler alert, do not like or agree with, which means I have to do some research of my own to prove that I'm not shitting on this man just because I don't agree with the science or whatever, you know? Because, like, I feel like that's like a cop-out just to say I don't agree with it and move on. So be ready for some epic psychology facts. Not right now, though, because right now, we have a podcast to listen to. Now for the moment of truth. Let's press play.
Why do we like who we like? Societal cues like money, status, security, and obviously biologic cues, creating offspring that are designed to survive.
Okay, I just want to say I still have problems with the fact that people are still saying that humans are biologically driven to do a whole lot of shit. Have you guys seen the church? They don't fuck. Okay. Time out. What live reacting Michael was alluding to there was that humans, while still having urges and the like, have been shown to not live their lives solely through the lens of the biological need. In fact, the need that Shake is referring to in his statement, the need to reproduce, is countered by the people who, let's say it with me now, don't want to have kids. Right here I was bringing that to a very extreme example of humans versus biological needs. The church just says, hey yo, y'all can't fuck or else you can't be a bishop or nothing. And the people's will to serve their God, an entirely human concept, is far more than their biologic urge to make baby. So, shut up, Jake. Also, this man for real says nothing about emotional attachment at all in this little speech. Like, he has sunk so far below the fuckboy oceans into the deep, deep trenches of one-night stands are the only relationship I need.
Well, first, thank you for having me, my friend.
Why the fuck does the professional podcaster have a worse camera than the guest? That seems...
cringe.
Odd. Say that.
Even though we've had this information for a really long time, even though we know Unani biotypes exist, the big problem is that we stopped paying attention to it.
Okay, hold on. He said we know Unani biotypes exist. I am not going to do my due diligence to research it. Fuck you. Yes, I am. So what Rodrigo said is true. Unani medicine has been circulating for a long, long time, inspired by the Greeks. Unani means Greek in Hindi. It's still practiced today in Muslim culture, specifically in like South Asia, and many schools in India are also researching it. What is also true is that Unani medicine has been labeled pseudoscience, and the Indian Medical Association's anti-quackery tab on their website lists practitioners of Unani medicine as not qualified to practice modern medicine. And furthermore, when I look up Unani biotypes specifically, Rodrigo is the only person who shows up.
Hi, it's editing Mickey again. So, I lied. There's this whole article about Unani biotypes, and I don't think it mentions the word biotype, but it's literally the thing that Robert was describing with all of the names that he was using as well. And this was made in 2015, so it's been a thing for a while at least. I don't know. It's just, you know, Unani medicine is so well documented, and the biotype aspect of it seems to be pioneered by Robert rather than like those who are funded by the Indian government, who are like paid to keep that kind of tradition alive. So I don't know why they wouldn't have something on this. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't have something on this. So that's just something to keep in mind, I guess. Bye. I'm gonna go sleep. I'm tired.
So it seems the world did not forget about Unani medicine. It just does not label it as modern science.
So your reptilian brain, I'm sure you know a lot about this. The reptilian brain is our fight or flight, and it gets triggered and we forget about everything because now we're in the reptilian brain.
He keeps going on about this reptilian brain.
So if I understand correctly, Rodrigo, we use a more sophisticated area of our brain to fall in love now, yet we still need those more animalistic desires in order for a relationship to work.
Okay, you're cherry picking. He said previously, we don't really use our lizard brain to fall in love anymore. We still need part of it, which is physical attraction, and that's understandable. But again, there are people who don't want sex. They don't have the animalistic instinct to fuck. But he's just saying his own opinion again. He didn't really listen to what Rodrigo said. He's just restating his own opinion that he's had before. I mean, the fact that he interrupted just makes me think that he has a 5-minute timer in his pocket. And he disassociates until that timer goes off, and then he interjects with the same opinion that he's been shitting out of his ass for the past 4 months without having learned anything.
So let me break this down a little bit, because I believe that 90% of people that fall in love today actually fall in love in something that we call traumatic compatibility. And this is how, I promise you, like around 98% of the world creates relationships right now.
What the fuck? Traumatic compatibility? I don't know if that's real or not. That sounds, to me, my bullshit alarm is going off. I mean, I guess you need some sort of empathy from your partner, but the fact that you have to go through the same trauma seems weird. Oh, that's on you, Michael. You misinterpreted what he said. What he actually said was this.
Like if I decided really early on in my life that men are abusive, because that's the information and images that I was exposed to, then when I find an abusive man, something inside of me is going to tell me that this man is real.
Oh my god, that's not what I thought at all. Yeah, it's somehow even worse. Oh my god. Again, not a science man. Fuck that. Let's go along with his example. Someone grows up with the opinion that men are abusive. They're not looking for a partner who is non-abusive. They are instead looking for a partner who is a man and abusive because it confirms their beliefs. Now, to be completely honest, I don't quite know how to research if someone is a physical manifestation of your trauma, does that mean you're romantically compatible? Because until right now, I didn't think that was a question worth asking. But I did do a quick Google search of traumatic compatibility, and everything that pops up says that it's a farce and not real.
It also seems to only be about having similar trauma to your partner rather than having the trauma that your partner fears.
It's not quite what Robert was saying, but one, he did say that could form a foundation for romantic relationships, which apparently it does not.
So they both experience like this lack of attention of father figure, and that definitely creates an initial connection.
And two, the fact that he gave that very specific idea, that very specific name, and nothing pops up about it, I don't know. It feels a little weird to me.
What are the emotions or experiences that create the deepest and strongest attachment in human beings? Number 3, the third thing that creates the most attachment between human beings is love.
Well, I should have guessed.
Number 3.
Yeah, Shake's keeping it real all the time. Yeah, we should have guessed that. Wait, then what the fuck is number 2 and number 1? You're most attached to the ones you love. That's like the whole thing. Like friendship is a form of love. You're attached to your friends.
What?
Okay, Michael, hold on. I'm going to be honest with you. You're kind of speaking out of your ass right now. I'm going to back you up, like I always do. Just stop saying stupid shit. But the reason Life Reacting Michael is acting so confused here is because he is under the impression that one of the other two pillars, which is above love in terms of creating attachment, will be sex. If it's sex, if they say sex, I'm gonna scream.
Then we have level 2, something that creates attachment even more.
I knew it.
Sex.
Lust, I was going to say. But yeah.
I suppose that I knew it was coming. And, well, it's a bit more complicated than Rodrigo... Complicated? Try again? It's a bit more complicated than Rodrigo makes it sound, at least from what I've gathered. There's a study from 2005 that monitored the brain activity of 17 people who labeled themselves as in love, and it showed them essentially 2 types of images. One of the person that they loved, and another of generally attractive people, and they came to the conclusion that love was deemed the stronger emotion. Romantic love is one of the most powerful of all human experiences, said study member Helen Fisher, an anthropologist at Rutgers University. It is definitely more powerful than the sex drive. Now, there are some weird discrepancies I found in this project that I don't feel like ironing out. Like how this study says that the brain separates love and sex into 2 different sides of the brain, while another thing I found said that it kind of meshes it together in some sort of weird Venn diagram. And it's also a low sample size. It's only 17 people. So I don't know. I'm not devoting that much time to researching this, or else this video will never come out. But from what I've seen, it doesn't seem so rigid. It doesn't seem like sex or love are stronger than each other. It just, it seems like a debated topic.
So
Like
would you say
force.
that love is not enough to make a relationship work, love alone?
Well, we know that to be
Okay,
true in systemic
perfect.
psychology.
Just wanted to get that.
Like, literally one of the most important... Yeah.
That fucking Shake shit-eating grin makes me so upset. That's the face of a man who knows he's won. Whose this entire podcast is a battle, and he's won. Or he just pissed himself. And yet again, Shake just wants to prove his own points on the podcast. He's only asking for clarification on the answers that back up his previous set of beliefs, so he can go around linking the clips he's about to farm to his haters. And if you think he's not thinking about clipping and shipping right now at this very moment, you're sorely mistaken.
Love that. We're gonna clip that, and we're gonna make it a reel and a TikTok, and we're gonna post it.
Look at that. Look at that motherfucker. He's complaining about taking his shit out of context. You're gonna take that shit out of context. But
let me be clear.
I am not trying to make fun of Rodrigo. Okay, maybe I am a little bit, but most of that came from me live reacting, and at that point I just kind of say whatever's on my mind, so... The biggest problems I have with him that I can concretely say are that he speaks in absolutes when things don't seem to be exactly the way he says they are. And he also uses big words that I don't like, because I'm just a little guy. But he's like a for real psychiatrist or therapist or whatever the fuck. He's qualified, okay? And I am not. I did very bare bones research to try and back up my points, but I am, and I recommend that you should, give all of the benefit of the doubt to the person who's been studying this his entire livelihood. I find myself getting very angry at a lot of the things that he says, and I feel like they're untrue, but because I can't verbalize why, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything he says is 100% false. What I will say, though, is that Rodrigo is at the very least misused, and at the very most, mistreated and terribly disrespected. Take this part, for instance, when Rodrigo was talking about how when a family system loses an integral part of its structure, other family members will try and rise to the challenge of filling that up again.
A family works like the human body. If I lose my eyesight, my body will try to overcompensate with certain things. Families are exactly the same. If suddenly something dramatic happens in a family, people readjust within the system in order to kind of save the system.
And he goes on about how this can backfire, how your family members will treat you if you end up being the one to, let's say, replace your mother or your father or your grandparents or something. And it's clear that he's incredibly passionate about what he's talking about. And the passion, like, it seeps through. Like, I am decently interested about psychology, but I found myself wanting to ask more questions. And you know what Shake does? Know what he does? Before Rodrigo goes too far from what Shake deems to be what the podcast is about, cuts him off.
So in systemic psychology, we understand the positions and the levels of attachment.
Based on systemic psychology, is it possible to form a meaningful enough connection to spend your life with somebody without having seen them?
And the question he asks here is essentially the reason why I'm making this video in the first place. As I've stated before, or maybe I haven't, I don't remember at this point, Shake is using Rodrigo as a prop to attempt to pick up the shattered pieces of his broken public perception. But the thing is, he's not even doing that right. Nobody said that Shake was forced to marry Deepti, because we all know that the question was about that marriage and about the show, because even though the reunion episode was released over a month before this podcast episode came out, and filmed even before then, and then the reunion episode was filmed after the show had already come out, there's so much time for Shake to move on and grow and cut himself off from the experience of the show, but instead he chooses to latch onto it for dear life, like he's going to die without it. But again, no one was mad that Shake didn't want the long-term relationship. Hell, most of us celebrated Deepti when she cut him off because he was about to start the long-term relationship. We are not angry at the fact that he didn't find her attractive. Attraction is fickle and differs from person to person. And yes, it is a little weird that you only date white blonde girls. I'll give you that. That's strange and I don't like that.
I just remember moving to America, seeing two things for the first time, seeing snow and blonde girls. And I felt the same way when I saw both.
This man trying to fuck snow. But that's not the main reason people are angry with you, dude. I'm so angry I'm talking directly to him now. Holy shit. But that's not the reason why people are so angry at you, okay? It's because of how you present yourself in these situations. The fact that you so obviously only went on the show and then proposed to someone for the sole reason of getting the public eye on you. The fact that you said such shitty things to your partner to their face, and especially behind their back to their friends, to your friends. The fact that you cherry pick specific arguments when your coworkers have told you to your face on live television what their problems are with you, and you still can't find even the slimmest reason to acknowledge those. It is not your opinions themselves that are the worst, even though I cannot see myself agreeing with a lot of them. It's the way you just shit them out on everyone around you. It is the way you present yourself, not only to your audience, but even apparently behind closed doors, that makes me have no sympathy for your plight as the tragically misunderstood reality TV star. There's like 20 minutes more of the podcast that I could go over, but to be honest, I don't want to look at Shake's face anymore. But then also because I would have to do more research, because Rodrigo starts actually explaining what Unani biotypes are, and to me they just sound like pseudoscientific astrology science for psychology majors, and I don't want to keep getting mad at things I can't disprove. Also, I don't know if this is my little liberal snowflake baby brain, but they never touch on how this relates to asexual people or aromantic people or anyone on that kind of spectrum. Essentially, what happens if you don't have that sex drive or if you don't experience that romantic attraction? That would have been so interesting to hear about, but Shake doesn't know how to ask any questions that don't relate to the show he was about that he won't even fucking name, like it's fucking Voldemort.
And, you know, being on the show.
But anyways, if you wanted to know, the last thing in the 3 columns, the thing that creates the most attachment in human beings is anger.
Oh, anger.
I have so much hate in my heart for how this man is. In unrelated news, I'm creating a 4-part docuseries about how Shake's smile makes me want to punch him in the teeth. But really, though, this is mostly jokes. I obviously don't like Shake that much, but he's a stranger on the internet, so whatever. I wish him well. But on the other hand, while I was finishing up the script to this video, a part 2 came out. Where Rodrigo comes back on as the guest for the 2nd week in a row to the podcast. And to be honest, they might have answered all the questions that I had in this video. They might have rendered this entire thing moot. So I did what I had to do. And I didn't watch any of it, neither should you. Bye, subscribe! Hi. Thanks for coming to my little corner of the internet. This is the unscripted outro for the very scripted show. Yeah, I don't know. I'm finishing up editing this, and I just wanted to say thank you for watching. This is my first video, if you hadn't noticed by the lack of other videos on my channel. And I don't know. First of all, I want to say I'm sorry for the messy audio quality and for the amount of fucking you had to endure. I will try to make it as nice as possible, maybe with redubbing certain lines I did, but then maybe it'll look bad. So I don't know. However it turns out, it won't be great because the initial audio recording was kind of sucky, so I'm sorry about that. I'm also sorry that you had to hear me ramble for fucking 40 minutes, but we are off the rails here, so. But yeah, overall, I think I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm happy with how I wrote it. Obviously, certain things I'd like to change here and there, but if I try and make it perfect, then I will never get it out. You might be able to tell that this was recorded like 2 weeks ago. And many things have happened in that 2 weeks. I've had finals week, or I'm having finals week. I've had to study for finals. I got sick. Fucking my computer had to get completely erased, so that's the other reason I couldn't get all of the articles and stuff back for when I was analyzing, when I was trying to fact check Robert there. So how it goes, I guess. But I mean, if this is the standard, if this is the benchmark, this is the lowest point of my channel and it can only go up from here, that's very exciting because I think this was a pretty good video, you know? My first time really editing anything like this much. I've edited before, and I've kind of practiced timings and stuff like that, because I think that editing, it's all about, you know, the timing and if I'm going to make a fucking long-ass video, it better be fast-paced, you know? There can't be any dead air or else you get bored and move on. So I tried to make it as snappy and quick as possible. But this is the first time of me editing, like the thing with the catch. That was my first time editing anything of that, you know, caliber of like the motion tracking of my hands, and then it wasn't, you know, incredibly difficult, but it's fun to learn something new and then properly apply it and then share it with the world. I think that's fun to do. But yeah, I think that's just about it from me. If you want to support me in shitting on everyone that I possibly can, you can subscribe, I guess. I feel weird about that, asking for that, because I don't feel like I'm just doing this because I want to, you know? But it'd be cool if you subscribed. That'd be funny. Wouldn't it be a funny joke if you subscribed and liked the video? Ha 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 ha. But that's all for me. Bye.